Sakura Brews, a love that blossomed in Tokyo. In a quiet corner of Tokyo, hidden between narrow streets and glowing neon signs, there was a small cafe called Sakura Brews. It wasn't the largest or the most famous coffee shop in the city, but it had something special, an atmosphere that wrapped around you like a warm embrace. The air inside was always filled with the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee, blended with the soft, lingering scent of cherry blossoms from the small garden behind it. One rainy evening, a young woman named Hana rushed down the street. Trying to shield herself from the cold drizzle, she had just closed her flower shop and had forgotten her umbrella. As she shivered in the chilly air, her eyes caught a warm, glowing light from a small cafe she had never noticed before. Curious, she pushed open the wooden door and stepped inside. The moment she entered, she felt as if she had stepped into another world. The soft glow of dim hanging lights, the quiet murmur of jazz music in the background, and the rhythmic sound of raindrops against the window created an ambience so inviting that she instantly relaxed. Behind the counter, a young man with calm eyes was preparing a fresh pot of coffee. His quiet demeanor suited the peaceful setting of the cafe. Without saying a word, he poured a steaming cup of matcha latte and slid it toward her.
"Drink this,"
he said in a gentle voice.
"You look like you need something warm."
Surprised but grateful, Hana wrapped her hands around the cup and took a sip. The slight bitterness of the matcha, balanced by the creamy warmth, spread through her chest like a comforting hug. That night, Hana sat in the corner of the cafe, watching the rain outside. She had no idea that this little place, and the quiet man behind the counter, would soon become a part of her life. The next morning, Hana returned, not because of the rain and not by accident. She came back because something about Sakura Brews had drawn her in. Every day, before opening her flower shop, she stopped by the cafe, but she didn't come empty-handed. Along with her usual order, she left a single fresh flower on the counter. At first, Ren, the cafe owner, didn't ask any questions. He simply took the flowers and placed them in a small vase near the register. But one morning, when Hana placed a white camellia on the counter, he finally spoke.
"These flowers, do they mean something?"
he asked, glancing at the delicate petals. Hana smiled. "Flowers carry emotions. This one means waiting." Ren hesitated for a moment before continuing to brew her coffee.
"Waiting for what?"
he asked, his voice quieter this time. Hana simply shrugged, her eyes filled with mystery, maybe for something or someone. That conversation lingered in Ren's mind long after Hana left that morning. From that day on, he started paying attention to every flower she brought. Each one carried a silent message. And before he realized it, he had started waiting for the moment she would step through the door. Waiting to see what flowers she would bring next. Waiting for the warmth she unknowingly left behind. As the cherry blossoms bloomed across the city, something else bloomed between them. Their conversations grew longer, their smiles lingered a little more, and their quiet moments together became more meaningful. One evening, after closing her flower shop, Hana walked into Sakura Brews and found something unexpected. On the counter, where she always placed her flowers, there was a small bouquet of cherry blossoms tied with a soft ribbon. Her heart skipped a beat as she noticed a small handwritten note attached to it.
"For the girl who brings flowers into my days, would you let me be the one to bring warmth into yours?"
She slowly looked up, and there stood Ren, holding a freshly brewed cup of coffee, his usually calm eyes now filled with quiet anticipation. For the first time, Hana realized she hadn't just been waiting for something, she had been waiting for someone. With a warm smile, she picked up the bouquet and met his gaze. "Only if you promise to keep making me coffee." Ren let out a soft chuckle and slid the cup toward her.
Then I guess we have a deal?
Outside, the cherry blossom petals drifted through the air, as if blessing the beginning of something new. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Hana still brought flowers, and Ren still made coffee, but now there was something different in the way they looked each other. Something deeper, something unspoken, yet undeniably there. Under the Tokyo skyline, in a small cafe tucked away from the world, love quietly brewed between them, like the perfect blend of coffee and flowers, slowly, beautifully, and warmly.